is it's not a gift, man. It's a trust. It's a community ideal. To be able to put people in a room and talk about some of the most difficult of things, painful, hurtful things, but yet congeal an environment whereby people can see their own humanity, show compassion, and show mercy. Civil liberties attorney Clarence Zarrow also said when it came to humor, if you lose the power to laugh, you lose the power to think. With that, I present the End of Racism Comedy Lecture Tour Virtual Edition.
I think racism is the reason why you never see any black people in tanning commercials. You laughing, but if you went to the local pharmacy, you saw a car going cut out of me with some suntan lotion, you'd be confused. It's a killer. They don't tell you this. It affects everybody. Guess what? Racism affects white people too. But they don't tell you. That's why I'm here. Work with me here. Black people got Thanksgiving month. I'm Muslim have Ramadan, Latino have Latino month, Asian have. What do my white brothers and sisters have? Nothing. You don't have a Caucasian Awareness Month or Black Appreciation Day or a Rain Day or a Oscar or a Document or a Richard Month or a Family Help or Pale Cards. Nothing. Put out your right hand. Extend my fingers. I call this the fives. It's about a thing about language. Freedom. I believe there's always 5 letters to let us know just how 5 letters. Thanks. Here we go. You can count on 5 letters. I believe we all exist, EXIST, here on Earth, 5 letters by virtue of fact, we're all human nature remain. Therefore, it doesn't matter whether you're black 5 letters, white 5 letters, Asian 5 letters, or Latino, check the O to A is still ain't true. I'm Muslim, you know, that means I follow Islam, that's 5 letters. What you follow Jesus, if you're Jewish, you get 4 or 5 letters too. The point of this is, as good as the sound is always going to be hate, and it's 5 letters too. Because our power lies in our unity, you and I, too. Hey, you know how hate is. Most of them are angry, some of them are upset, some of them pissed off right now because damn it, they can't SPEL. It's okay. Tell them, hey, listen, man, if you can't spell it out, do the math. If you take 3 things away from the 5, it gives you peace. And that peace is spelled P-E-A-C-E.
I proudly present the End of Racism Comedy Lecture Tour Virtual Edition, coming to a college near you. Hey everybody, Assalamu alaikum. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the notify button so you know when you're getting new episodes, and we just want to grow this project. I thank you in advance. Without further ado, let's get it rolling. The ShOUT Show.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh, everybody. This is your host, Preacher Moss, the host of the SOS, the ShOUT Show. I hope it's going well for you. I hope you're in your groove. You hit your stride. You know what this is. This is Mo Better Monday. Again, Mo Better Monday. And I hope it's a Mo Better Monday. I think it's going to get a little bit better. Looks like William Barr, the Attorney General, Flash, Fred Flintstone, stunt double, looks to be leaving as the Attorney General. So that's a Mo Better. Another Mo Better is we're moving a step closer, if you will. We are proceeding with precision and steadiness and clarity as to who won this election. But most importantly, though, man, I felt like, you know, More Better Monday was just about breathing again. breathing again. You have vaccines again. You have some potential talk about stimulus packages. You have things that we have to put in the vernacular of hope. And I think it's important that we're saying that we're putting in this talk of hope because they're coming out of some of the most imperfection or some of the most imperfective things that are out there these days. They're coming from some of the things that we wonder a lot of times. How do these organizations, units, and people actually exist? I thought about that. I thought about the day when I drove from Chicago to Milwaukee to see my brother. He's on the show, inshallah. We have shout out to the Milwaukee gang, shout out to Miss Maisie, shout out to Miss Calcutt, shout out to Miss Eunice, shout out to everybody. Because, it's important to see people grow. Let me say that again. It's important to see people grow. Now, before I go, and everybody who's in the queue right now for the comment section, don't move. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. First of all, if you're on the show for the first time, brothers and sisters, I say this. You guys know what I'm going to say. If it's your first time on the Shout Out Show, thank you for coming. We appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us. You could have been other places. You came here. Thank you. Now, here's some rules for being on the Shout Out Show. Number one, we want you to enjoy your best self on this show. Number two, if you don't mind, click the notification button, the subscription button. And if you like the show, I say if you like the show, hit the like button. And the other thing is, if you have something to say, something that has weight, a robust conversation you want to be a part of, or some ideas you want to throw out to the fray, we are an open platform for different ideas, different emotions, different concepts. Why? Because by the time I get to number 3, number 4, you already figured out you are part of the SOS, the Shout Out Show family, the Shout Out Show soldiers. Now, if you are new, you got to get in the box because this is what I do every show. I learned this from a story about Dr. J. It is about treating people with respect. One of the best stories about Muhammad Ali is a story I had when I was an adult, not a child, but an adult. And I'm going to introduce everybody. I went to go see Muhammad Ali. Now, he was in his later years, brothers and sisters. The Parkinson's was pretty progressive. And I happened to be there with another Muslim brother who used to make these beautiful paintings of Muhammad Ali and present him to him when he came into town. I struck up this conversation with this brother, and he was telling me about these paintings. Muhammad Ali came, this brother gave me a hookup, he threw me a lifeline. All I had to do is take the back of the painting, which was huge, and he would let me meet my idol, Muhammad Ali. And I stood in front of the man, and I was starstruck, brothers and sisters. I'm a comedian. I make my living speaking to people, putting the words together that create laughter, if you will. I'm standing in front of Muhammad Ali, and then it hits me. I'm in front of Muhammad Ali, and I'm dumbstruck. I'm trying to figure out the right combination of words to say to Muhammad Ali. And what I said to him, brothers and sisters, was really stupid. I said, Muhammad Ali, and I got stuck. I said, Muhammad Ali, and I looked at him, he goes, looked at me, I go, you're the greatest. And he goes, I know. And I said, wow. And he realized that I wasn't too bright. And he asked me to come forward. Now, at this time, brothers and sisters, I just moved out to California. I was a lot lighter. My hair was a lot darker. And I had a pencil behind my ear. And he said, what do you do for a living? I said, I'm a comedian. I said, I'm a teacher. He laughed at me being a teacher because you look like a kid. And I was like, well, what are you going to do? The greatest is giving you a hard time. You got to take it. You got to take that L. He asked me to give him $1. I gave him the $1, brothers and sisters. I forgot he did magic tricks. He took the $1, he ripped it up in a bunch of shreds, and then went poof, and it was gone. And everybody clapped. And I clapped. But I looked and I was like, I really need that $1. I'm a broke teacher. And he looked at me and he goes, you want the $1 back? And I didn't want to say, yeah, but I was like, yeah, I need the $1 back, champ. I know you're Muhammad Ali, but I'm not. I need that $1, brother. I'm a public school teacher. And he said, no problem. And he reached behind my ear and he gave me a quarter. And I said, wow. I looked at the quarter and he leaned in and he goes, that's your money after taxes. Now, despite the fact I really need that money, I thought about Muhammad Ali and I said, you know what? This is what makes that guy great because he works so hard to give everybody an experience. So, everybody I'm about to introduce on the show, if you're new on the show, jump in the chat box because you're family to me. I don't have fans, I have family. Everybody here has a narrative with me. We may have never met, but everybody has a narrative. So, here we go, right here. This is our consultant producer. This is Sister Sultana, who makes the show go, brothers and sisters. She is a tireless worker for the SOS, other projects we're doing, the Funny Right Now writing program, which we hope to be starting up as soon as mid-February, inshallah. So, just she's been on here. She hosted, did a great job. If you guys go through Saturday before last, her show with Nana Furman was amazing about green initiatives, the Muslim green aspect of things. Great show. I want to shout out Ree. Ree is, of course, a family member. Ree is the dietitian for the SOS show. She makes sure we eat the right stuff. Sister Rabina is our unofficial researcher. She's always making sure that I get information. And the thing about Sister Rabina, and I will try and end the show on time, Sister Rabina, is the fact that she stays up. She's in the UK. She stays up to make sure she can tune into the show and make sure that her flavors, felt on the Shout Out Show. We do very much appreciate that, Sister Rabina. Now, this sister right here, I could tell you that this is the Imam's daughter, my main man, Imam Yusuf Salim. I've seen his sister do amazing things, but, and I'm going to say that anyway. However, she's important because she's a teacher. And so I want everybody to know there's always going to be teacher love. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Celine. But there's always going to be teacher love. And she's been teaching for a very long time. And this will actually tie into the topic today. But she's been teaching a very long time. Dedicated, talented, creative. She has all these skills, all this education. She could have done a bunch of things, but it was that idea of service. So shout out to you, Sister Celine. And let me kick right down here. Brother Altaf Rashid comes all the way from Toronto. We got a hat exchange that's supposed to happen sometime. I'm going to get a hat up to Toronto. He's going to get a hat down to where I am, wherever I'm in DC, wherever I am in the world, but I'm going to get that hat from you. So I'm going to make sure that that's going on. And that's right, Sister. So he was a comedian and teacher too. He was one of the kindest people. And I have to say, it really permeated through his family because his oldest daughter, his oldest child, May, is as nice as they come. And coincidentally, also a comedian. I actually met her in Pasadena, 1997, when she was doing stand-up. And we stayed in touch. She's actually done shows with me. She's an amazing person. Also a servant. She works with at-risk kids in Los Angeles. So chalk that up. Keep her in your wise. And this is my brother, Johnny L. Thomas. My brother, I saw him today. I drove all the way down from Chicago on a whim. I didn't even call him, brother. I want to apologize for that, JT. I drove all the way down. He said, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm in your driveway." It was so country. It was so Jamaican. Wagwan. And I did it anyway, because I figured if he's not in the house, I'm gonna find him. Milwaukee is that small. But it's easy to find good people in Milwaukee too. So that's our crew for right now. I think we have one more person. If not, it's okay. I just came over this thing for More Better Mondays. My topic, brothers and sisters, is understanding imperfection. Understanding imperfection. I had the honor last night of doing the shout-out show from Ustad Ubaidullah Evans' house. Now, Ustad Ubaidullah Evans, I know, boy. If you didn't come out, I was going to break in the back window and watch Netflix. Okay. Ubaidullah Evans is a scholar, an amazing scholar from South Side of Chicago. He studied at Al-Azhar University. I interviewed him for a project called ShOUT Curious. And as he and I began to talk about ShOUT, Zakat is charitable giving. Fourth pillar of Islam is charitable giving. As he and I began to talk about it more, we delved into some aspects of conversation and life. Let me say conversation and life. And what we found, brothers and sisters, was we were talking, and I actually said this to my brother JT at lunch today. I was doing a show at a prison some years ago, a show at a prison. And I'd done the show 1 year and came back the following year. And the inmates, the brothers, because it was a Muslim show, Muslim inmates, the brothers were happy to see me. I was happy to see them. Now, the OG, the Muslims, pulled me to the side and he said he was happy to see me. And I told him I was going to come back. He said, I'm glad you kept your word. I said, absolutely, brother, absolutely. He said, did they pay you? I said, well, no, brother, they didn't pay me. He said, wait a minute, wait. He said, they didn't pay you. I said, no, sir. He said, well, everybody here knows you were coming. I said, yeah, because we said, no. He said, let me tell you something. And I remember this. He said, time is money, but intention is life. Let me say it again. Time is money, but intention is life. Now, I probably could have done another 5 years in that prison trying to figure out what that brother was saying. But then it hit me as I was speaking to Bayla Evans, and we actually talked about that concept. Love is not perfect. Love is not perfect. Love is imperfect. Love is imperfect in a way whereby you have to continue learning how to love people, or you have to continue supporting an atmosphere where people love themselves. If you think about it, think back to the craziest cookout you ever went to. Muslim, non-Muslim. Think of the craziest cookout you ever went to. My family used to throw they used to throw some cookouts. I mean, 4th of July, take everybody's keys. Nobody's walking out of this sober. You know what I'm saying? And there's a thing, brothers and sisters, where we laughed at people, we joked at people, we smiled, look at so-and-so, look at so-and-so, you know, and then it hit me in some regards. You remember the crazy auntie, mama crazy, dad a little off, da-da-da. Are you aware that some of the most crazy, loving people in our lives are somewhat dysfunctional? They're dysfunctional. Outside of our own environment, people might say, you know, Joe over there is crazy. You know, Sissy out of her mind. And as parents, and as children, and as brothers and sisters, we never even think of the fact that that person is imperfect. We think of that person as clearly human, and we give them a pass. And what's the pass we give them? We give them a pass. Like my father used to drink Budweiser like it was water. Long story short, he got stationed in Germany. The water over there was filthy. They couldn't drink it. So what they told the soldiers to do was drink beer. He developed a taste for Budweiser for over 50-some years. My dad would drink Budweiser over and over and over and over and over again. It would take a whole distillery to get my dad drunk. And then he get a little tipsy and he go up and da-da-da-da-da-da. Not mean stuff, you know, just he gets silly. And we would sit back and watch my dad going, he's had about a case. Here comes the silly. And we sat back and we looked at it. And we never ever thought that this behavior could be problematic. This behavior could be odd. You know, my uncle Reggie, whom I named after. My middle name is Reginald. My Uncle Reggie was probably clinically nuts. But we love my Uncle Reggie because he brought intangibles to our lives. And I'm sure this happens in your family. People bring intangibles to your life. And it allows us to overstate sometimes and overlook imperfection. I know I'm not perfect. In a perfect world, I'd probably be looked at as probably clinically insane. Who does the fact that you go around the country to get on a stage in front of people that you don't know to laugh, to elicit an emotion from them that they don't want to give you? They weren't even there to see you in the first place. And create this facade whereby we have a relationship that I am the entertainer and you are the entertained. But I do it. You know why I do it? Because I love it. And you know why they come out? Because they love to laugh. Doesn't even have to be me. But the feeling that comes with being with a group of people laughing together is spiritually and morally uplifting. I have a friend of mine. On any day, I tell him, you could legitimately get picked up and put in a straitjacket and put in a rubber truck. Because you say things that you should not say in public. If you believe in UFOs, okay, believe in UFOs. But don't bring it up at a breathalyzer stop. They gonna lock you up. Just think of the wildest, craziest person you ever hung out with. Why'd you hang out with them? Why'd you hang out with them? Did they make you feel better about you? Or did they make you feel good about hanging out with them? About the choice that they had an interest in you and you had an interest in them? Think about that. Got Sister Ika on the box. Walaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All the way from Indonesia. Hope you're doing well. Sister Rabina's question: would you agree that love has to be imperfect, otherwise we would follow blindly? To embrace others' imperfection is surely perfect. Yeah. I'm sure all of you know we are embraced by a certain perfection we don't have. We have a creator that is perfect, and only something perfect can produce and understand something that's imperfect. Literally, we don't understand ourselves. We don't understand ourselves. There's some things I do out of habit. Case in point, I was at a grocery store. Now, keep in mind, my grandmother's been, she left this earth in 2005. I was at a grocery store, brothers and sisters, getting canned goods and got all the way to the front of the line. And guess what happened? I was running the stuff through there. I put up a can of corn and it was dented. Now, keep in mind, people were in line. I told the lady, I can't take this can of corn. She said, what's wrong? I said, it's dented. And the woman looked at me like, is the corn coming out? I said, it's dented. This is a dented can of corn. She says, what does that mean? And I said, I don't know. I just know that it's dented. Let me welcome my sister here. Sister Latifah Turner, walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We hope that you're having a great day. Welcome to the Shout Out Show. I'm Preacher Mars. I'm your host and your brother. So thank you for jumping in the chat box. And that salam, everybody, is for everybody. So walaikum assalam for everybody. I'm the spokesman. Sister Rabina, I have to hang out with crazy people because they are my siblings. Everybody know. I'm not going to say everybody. Is Sister Salim on here? Sister Salim's from DC. I'm not going to say everybody. I'm going to say everybody. 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 Got a crazy relative. Everybody. Not everybody. Everybody. I had a relative that would come to the house, whatever it was, and he would steal matchbooks. Matchbooks. You hear what I'm saying? Matchbooks. I'm like, why are you stealing matchbooks? I guess he could turn around and go, why are you holding up the line at the grocery store talking about a can of corn is in it and you can't tell a lady why that is a big issue? We all have our quirks. You know what I'm saying? We do. But understanding imperfection, it's the fact that imperfection is there for a reason. It's there for a goal. Yesterday we were talking about zakat. You know, an interesting thing about zakat, I came to understand with brother uh, Ustad Ubaid Evans. He said that zakat, in many ways, brings together two groups of people. Two groups of people, the poor and the rich, and creates a platform where wealth is not criminalized, it's moralized. That to have access to wealth is to have the ability to distribute wealth. The same thing with imperfection. What you really learned from a person who was perfect? Speaking of crazy, there's my mom right there. How you doing, mom? My mom, I love her, but her first reaction when she meets people, she wants to do violence to them. God rest my brother Reginald Kitchen. But every time he would call, he say, "I love you, mom," and she go, "Don't make me have to body slam you." What? What? He said he love you, mom. You a WWE wrestler all of a sudden. You couldn't lift anybody. I'm gonna body slam you. No, you're not. My mother, I love her. But when they get older, our parents, when they get older, they set in their ways. And it's not that they're imperfect. They're just better at being imperfect. They're not moving. Don't think mom and dad are crazy. They're just stubborn and good at it. They had years to practice. Your time on earth comes way after the fact they've learned how to master this same reaction. My grandmother was the same way. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna keep this moving because it's already like 5:26. So please forgive me, everybody. But when we talk about imperfection, a lot of times we're not talking about the work to get better. I always say imperfection, the beauty of imperfection, or the miracle of imperfection, is that it leaves a little space to get better. It leaves a little space to get better. That brother that told me time is money, but intention is life, he summarizes so perfectly that life in itself is imperfect. Because if it was perfect, it wouldn't be life, it'd be eternity. Think about if you could just live forever. If you could just live forever. If you could be Tom Hanks in the Green Mile and that little ugly looking mouse. I'm just saying. Oh, see, Reed's a victim from my mom too. I've been body slammed by Mama Ma several times. There you go. But it's love. I've actually seen people around me and my mother um, when she says things like that, and they're like, oh, oh. And while I should go, my mother's just playing, being playful. I'm imperfect too. I'm like, you should mind your damn business. Let me tell you how imperfect my mother is. And it's to make a point. The point is this: it's not that she's imperfect, it's just that we're always trying to learn. We're always trying to learn and better ourselves, brothers and sisters. Look at that picture right there. Now, here we are, supposed to be in the doctor's office, serious about our health. This was before COVID. Serious about our health and our condition, and we're supposed to listen to the prognosis. Look at the faces on us. Now, if you were a doctor and you saw that in your office, would you treat us or would you have us referred someplace? Let me wrap up on this whole thing of perfection. Perfection is for the dream. Perfection has always been for the dream. We come up with scores, a perfect 10, a perfect 100. But Sorry, fam. Seemed like I was talking about imperfection, and there it goes again. Well, my point is, and I will make this quick, and I'll beat it so everybody can go about their lives. My point, brothers and sisters, is understanding imperfection is understanding ourselves, meaning that a lot of us have opportunities to grow, challenges to face, and people in more regards to learn from. And once we learn from them, we have to hope that in some regards they'll learn from us too. The thing about imperfection is that it requires education, a certain subtle patience, if you will, a divine patience, if you will, that creates timing. This is Surah Asr that talks about by the time to the ages, man is in loss. I like to say man does not communicate well. Man does not see the importance in other men and other people, women as well. And as we close, let me offer this to you. Who do you know that's perfect? Who do you know that always gets it right? I'll wait. Now, if you're trying to figure out somebody that's perfect, let me help you out. You're going to be here a long time. So you might be here by the time I come back. See you guys. That's a shout out show. I'm Preacher Mars. Holla, take care of yourself, and embrace that imperfect you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That's a shout out show for today.
Hey everybody, this is your brother Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your shout out show experience. We'll be back with the next show, the next shout out show. Simple ask before you go, please help your brother out. Click that subscribe button, click that notify button, and I'll see you again on this side of the microphone. You probably wonder what that smell is. That's me. I smell good. And the reason I smell good is because I use oils from Tarifa Tar. So I'm not saying you can't smell good. I'm not even saying you stink. I'm saying you have the opportunity to smell exquisite. Check out tarifatar.com for some of the best oils and scents in town.